Good morning, everybody. Back with another video up on Lake Jordan again. Ava's ready to go. You ready to go? All right, let's go. It's around, it's exactly 6:30. Fish are jumping in the water. It's a nice cool morning. It's like 65. You can see the mists coming off the lake. I don't know if this camera can pick it up or not, but it's a beautiful morning. I wanted to get out here early. I've been up since 1 o'clock. So I was like, well, since I'm up early, I may as well get ready early and get up there as soon as the sun comes up so I don't get all that heat. It's supposed to be 92 today. Yep, you heard that right, 92 in the middle of September. But it's like that every year down here. So, Ava, you having a good time? Say hello to everybody. Yeah, she doesn't like the ride up here. The ride back, she's tired and wore out, so she sits there and looks out the window like a human being would. But on the way up here, oh my God. Jumping back and forth, whining. You know, when we've done this, probably no less than 50 times I've taken her on hikes. No less than 50, and she still acts the same way. Up and back. Oh, she acts like she's going out of her mind on the way back home. She's fine. I think it's just that nervous energy. Because sometimes there's like a little sports complex like a mile from my house. And where I'm at right now is about 8 or 9 miles from my house. And it's on the way. One time I stopped at the sports complex on the way here, let her out for a little bit, kind of walked around for like 15-20 minutes, and got back in the car to come here, and she was fine. I think she just has to let out that nervous energy. Not a breath already. So, still kind of dark in here. It doesn't, looking at the camera, it looks like there's plenty of light, but it's still kind of dark in here. So I'm probably going to run into a million spider webs like last week when I was here. That's crazy. I just walked like a quarter of a mile and I parked like literally on top of that hill. So usually on the way back, when I come back, I usually walk right through there instead of walking that. I guess it kind of defeats the purpose of hiking, doesn't it? But by that time I'm wore out. And Ava's usually wore out. See how she's acting now? When she starts walking in back of me or alongside of me, she's ready to go. She's tired. But right now, she's raring to go. She was so excited about coming out here. All I have to do is say, "You want to go to the park?" And her whole attitude changes. I love it. Because, you know, I hate leaving her when I go to work. And she doesn't know if I'm taking her with me. Usually when I grab a towel, she knows. Because I usually have to pick her up to put her in the car because I have 2 cats that I kind of adopted when I first moved in, Marty and Harriet. When we first moved in the apartment, me and Gina, about 4 years ago, we were sitting out back. And Harriet is a black cat with green eyes. She's beautiful. She came walking past us with this little kitten, which was Marty. And Marty could barely walk through the grass. The grass was almost taller than him. So she climbed a fence and went into a tree and waited for Marty. And we watched Marty climb that fence and climb the tree. She was teaching him. So we named them. Gina named Harriet because we were right at the time we were watching Little House on the Prairie, and anybody watches Little House knows Harriet. Nell's wife, and I named Marty after, well, I didn't really name him after anybody. I just liked the name Marty. It was cute for a cat. So this is what the crazy part. The crazy part is, all these years, and Gina passed away thinking Marty was a male. Well, these cats, you can't touch them. They can touch you, but you can't touch them. Like, I'll sit outside and Marty will jump up on a chair and sit on my shoulder. But if I go to touch him, like pet him or whatever, he just jumps off. So I have, you know, because they're outside cats. They're wild. And, but not to me. They love me. And they love Gina. But anyway, Gina passed away. And a few months went by. And I opened my front door, and there's like, no lie, there's like 15 kittens outside with Marty and Harriet. And I'm like, oh my God, Marty was a female this whole time. Like, I couldn't ever really get close enough. I mean, she went like 3 years without ever having kittens, so I figured she was still, you know, why would I think any different? I don't know, I'm not. Gina always said I was not that, I was not that perceptive about things. And she was right. So I still call her Marty. It's hard not to call her Marty anymore. Sometimes I'll call her Martina. But she was a girl. But I love Marty. She's my favorite cat of all time. I'll have to show you guys a picture of her, make a little video of Marty's the best. Oh, here the geese. Every time I hear geese and loons, I always think of On Golden Pond. Love that movie. And it's funny that about a year before Gina died, it was on one of the networks that we got, and she never seen it. Okay, there they go. She'd never seen it, so we watched it together, and she wound up really loving it. It's easy to watch a movie from the 80s, 70s, 80s, or 90s when you grew up in that time. But it's hard for these kids to watch one because they're so used to the picture being crystal clear and all that. And they see a movie like that and they're like, oh my God, was this filmed on a flip phone? But we're used to it. So we can watch it. Even though when I was a young person, I watched West Side Story. That was one of my mom's favorite movies. I'm talking about the 1961 version. Biff and Ricardo and Maria and Tony. That was an awesome movie. And even though I was young when I watched it, I loved it. And Wizard of Oz. Well, hey guys, how you doing? So, I guess today I'm really going to talk about nothing. Just, I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about the past and how much and why we all love it so much. I don't know about everybody, but most of the people I know or I see on YouTube or Facebook, there was like, I wish I could go back in time and go back to the 80s. They were the best, or 70s, you know. And a lot of people, some people, the 90s. The 90s were great too. They were just a continuation of the 80s with some added, grunge and things like that, which I like the 90s too. It's when, I guess, when the 2000s started, like, I don't know. I guess after 2010, I started just like, oh, I wish we could go back. But see, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so I was in grade school in the 70s, and then I started high school in the 80s. So I graduated in 86. So, as a kid, and watching Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley and the Brady Bunch and Taxi and Sanford and Son and Archie Bunker and all that was kind of All in the Family. That was kind of over my head because I was 7, 8, 9. So that was kind of over my head. So yeah, Brady Bunch and Happy Days, things like that. That was my favorite. And the 80s came around and watched everything. My favorite shows in the 80s were Dukes of Hazzard and Miami Vice. Loved Miami Vice. But I love Dukes of Hazzard too. Because I was around 12 when that came out. And so those two, and then of course I watched all the other shows. Golden Girls, and Gina loved Golden Girls every night. That's what she put on when she went into the bedroom. Knew every episode, every catchphrase, everything they were, all of it. She loved it. Oh, and Little House on the Prairie from the 70s, so yeah. We watched reruns of both of them. You know, because I noticed the older that me and Gina got, the more that we were just more into like wholesome, no vulgar stuff, no sex scenes. Somebody left a note here. I don't know what it says. Dear, I don't know, I'm going to read time. This is not planted. It says, Dear stranger, everything you once worried over turned out to be okay. Always remember that. Wow. It was sitting right here under this rocking penny. Or not that penny, what is it? Oh, that's just, God, what an idiot I am. That's just a rivet they used. I'm going to leave it there for the next person. Oh my God, I'm glad I had this out. Yeah, that's true. Everything that you worried about always turned out. You might not have liked might have not liked the outcome, but like when Gina passed away, I thought that was the end of the world for me. And it took a solid year before I could get to a place in life where, you know, I mean, I still miss her terribly, and I still wish I had her. But I know all the pain and suffering she went through, she's better, in a way better place than all of us. So eventually, I started to come, I'm not going to say I got over it, I'll never get over it, but just, you know, came to terms with it. So, but last week I was here. I'm going to walk past it. I'm going to show you guys. Somebody left a big, and I meant to bring something and put it on this trail too. Somebody left a big toy ladybug on a rock right on the trail. So I'm walking last week and I see it, and at first it scared me. And you're like, well, what are you scared? Because this thing was huge. There was no ladybug that size. I'm just like, I was telling somebody at work about it, and they said, oh, you thought you were going to be famous. I was like, no, I didn't. That wasn't first thought. First thought was like, where did this mutant big ladybug come from? Scared the crap out of me. I went up to it. It was like a plastic toy. Anyway, I'm going to pass it today and show you guys if it's still there. But that's really cool that someone left that note. I meant to bring something. After I seen the ladybug, I meant to bring something. I don't know what. My first reaction was, it probably sounds stupid to everybody, but I have these little soldiers. I got Civil War soldiers and Revolutionary War soldiers that Michaels used to sell. They still sell them, but not the soldiers. They come in a tube, and they're really cool looking. They look like real little soldiers. I have tons of them, and I meant to bring some of them out here and make a little scene, because I have Confederate and Union soldiers, and I also have British and American soldiers. So I meant to make a little scene out here. I have little cannons that came with them, and horses and all that stuff. So I meant to bring them and make them. I'm going to do it next time. Make a little scene and leave it there. I bet you that nobody touches it. It seems like the type of place that nobody would mess with. They would just think it was cool and just keep walking. So next time I'll do that, and I'll film that. Because I remember as a kid, I used to love Matchbox cars and those green little plastic army men that you get like a whole bag for like $1. And I'll go outside, and like I'll show you. But I could go outside and find an area, like just say this area, by this little tree. And I would get a stick, and I would just make little roads all around it. Or I take my army men and find a cool little spot and make some little war scenes. Entertained myself. Back then, you know, we didn't have a cable or internet or computers. You had to entertain yourself. My sister's father, who I thought was my real father for my whole childhood, he had a train set from when he was a kid. And he had about 2 or 3 different engines and a bunch of cars. And then the track was like metal. It was really cool. Anyway, I seen this movie. I think it was called Von Ryan's Express with Frank Sinatra. And if anybody's seen it, they know that the train scenes by the mountain. So I seen this movie when I was around 7 or 8. And at first thought after I watched it was like, I'm going down in the basement, getting Dad's train. He even had a bridge, a metal bridge. So I went downstairs, set up got some chairs that my mom had down there. She had like a dining room table set up down there. So I got the chairs and made a bridge with that bridge he had, and had my army men incorporated. Made something that looked like a mountain. It was just, it probably looked really, really corny, but to me it was like the best. And I never knew the name of that movie because back then you didn't have internet, Google to look it up. So I remember talking to one of my uncles years later, and we were talking about like movies and stuff, and I was like, oh, what was the name of that movie where it was like World War II and the Nazis and the Americans, and they were on this bridge, and he said, Von Ryan's Express. I was like, that's the name of it? He said, yeah. And I said, what, Frank Sinatra? He's like, yeah. That's how I knew about it. But anyway, just going back to my childhood stuff. I mean, I'm sure you guys have a lot of stories. Comment down below some of your childhood stories. Did you guys like Matchbox cars or Army Men? Or we didn't really have much. And for you ladies out there, what did you guys play with? I have 2 sisters that are 5 and 6 years younger than me. I also have 2 brothers that are a lot younger than me, like 15 and 16 years younger. So they were into He-Man and what do you call those, the robots, like Megatron and all that. They were into them too. Anyway, because I remember buying them like He-Man figures for their birthday and Christmas and all. I remember buying them like Skeletor and Man-at-Arms, especially for Danny. He was like, I was like, I don't know, 19, 20 when he started talking and all that. He was like a son to me more than a little brother. So he's out in Colorado now. I don't hear from him much. You know, people get older and time goes on, and you know, people make mistakes and trauma and old beefs and all that happen. So I'm not really close to him anymore like I used to be. And it's both of our faults. It's not just mine, or it's not just his. It's both of our faults. You know, it seems like we'll talk for a while, and then we won't. And then our mom will ask, you know, why come you guys don't talk anymore? And one of us will bring up something that we supposedly, you know, hashed out already. Oh, it's just weird. It just needs to end because, you know, this way this world's going, we don't have much more time, honestly. I don't think. You know, I don't like to get political because honestly, I'm really not I wasn't a political person. I'm not left, I'm not right. Somewhere in the middle, you know. I think I took a little test one time on the internet, and I'm a libertarian because I agree with some stuff that the Republicans have and some that the Democrats have. So, but to say I'm one or the other, no. But I will say this, I don't like where the Democratic Party is right now. Not especially since last week. I don't want to mention the act that happened in Utah, but that was just plain wrong. I mean, for that to happen, for someone just talking, wanting to talk. Now, I don't care if people think he was arrogant or whatever. He just wanted to have a conversation. Now, just think about this. That every time somebody disagreed with somebody and the outcome was what happened to him, you know what I mean? That's pretty much, there would be hardly anybody left in this world. That man did not deserve what he got, or did his family, or anybody who liked him. Now, I didn't dislike him or I liked him as a person. He had his beliefs. I admired him that he could go out and be as smart as he was and not even go to college. And I admire him going out in front of all these people not every, I don't know about every day, but all, debating people all over. That took guts. Knowing that this could happen to him one day. And it's wrong. And for the people making videos, laughing and making fun of it and thinking, oh, that's disgusting and sick. That's just demons. This world is full of them now. It's just demons. It's not right. So that's why I say I believe the world is coming to it's getting close. I really believe that. For those of you that are my age, or here's another note. Let's see what this one says. There. They use some cool paper because it really stands out. So let's see. We hope it's not a mousetrap there. Let's see what this says. I'm going to read it with you guys. All right. Dear stranger, for all the times you felt like you weren't enough, I want to I want to reassure you that you are more than enough. All right. I like this. This person, I'll put it right back where it was. This person has the good idea. I like it. Now, I don't know if I missed one. I'm sure there's probably some more up here. Oh yeah, how many times have we all thought we weren't enough? I still think that way. We might not be enough for some people, but that doesn't mean that we're not enough. We're just not right for that person. It's not a fit. You can't fit, a square in a round hole. So sometimes, you can't put a Chevy alternator on a Nissan SUV. So sometimes things don't work out with somebody. It's a blessing in disguise because you just get it over with faster and move on to who or what you were supposed to be with or become. I believe that now. When you're young, you don't want to hear anything like this, And we had perfect people telling us, all those old timers, from World War II and that seen some stuff, been around the block and telling us good stuff, and we just didn't want to hear it. And now we just wish those people were around to tell us things, because think about it. When we were kids, if you're my age and if you're in your 50s, even 40s. When we were kids and teenagers, World War II vets were everywhere. Now look around now. Now the Vietnam vets that we used, they're up in their 70s and 80s. So if they're in their 70s and 80s now, think about how old the World War II vets that are still around are. There's not going to be many of them left in the next few years. Just something to think about. So, I don't know why I thought of that. I just did. I thought about that before. I love history. And I love... Because, I was... last few weeks I've been seeing more and more content about people thinking history is fake. Like, how much of history is really true? Because the school systems are pushing their narratives on people, especially the colleges now. They're turning these kids into extreme left-wing liberals. They're just, you know, and so they're probably filling their heads full of lies. And so what's really true and what's not? So you gotta just, what's that saying? Believe half of what you hear, and I don't know, something like that. You know what I'm talking about, that saying. Somebody can put me in the comments what it really says. But all right, I'm getting on 30 minutes here, so I'm gonna stop and make a part 2. Plus my arm is getting tired. I'm holding coffee in one hand, the selfie stick in the other. So I'm gonna end this for now, make a part 2 for anybody who's interested. I mean, right now I just started doing this, so I haven't really had any views on my other videos, but hopefully if I just keep making them, people will start watching. Hopefully they'll start liking them, and then I can figure out what they like and what they don't like, and then I can go from there. But I'm going to end this now, and I'll start another one, part 2 coming up.